Have you ever stood up from your chair, just like any other day, and suddenly the room spins? Or maybe you felt your knees weaken, your vision blur for a second, and you had to grab onto something just to keep your balance? You're not alone. In fact, it's one of the most common complaints I hear from people over 60. Why am I feeling dizzy out of nowhere? Or worse, why do I feel like I might fall even when I'm standing still? And here's the truth that no one really talks about. It's not always just old age. No, in many cases, it's something deeper, something preventable. And when you understand what's really going on, you can actually regain your footing, both physically and mentally. In this video, we're going to uncover the real reasons behind why you feel dizzy or unsteady after 60. And I'm not just talking about the usual suspects. I'll walk you through some surprisingly common but often overlooked triggers like silent nerve damage, sneaky blood pressure drops, or even tiny changes inside your inner ear that can throw off your entire balance. More importantly, I'll share with you simple, gentle habits you can start today, right from your living room, to feel more grounded, confident, and steady with every step you take. And stay with me till the end, because one of the easiest fixes is something so basic you've probably done it your whole life, but might be doing it wrong. If anything in this video sounds familiar, if you've ever felt the room spin or your legs tremble without warning, I want you to leave me a comment below. Tell me your story, because here on Health 365, we're building a place where experience matters and no one is left to figure this out alone. So take a deep breath, settle into your favorite chair, and let's start from where most people never think to look. Let's talk about what's happening inside your inner ear and how just a tiny shift in there can turn your world upside down. Literally. You'd be surprised how many people over 60 struggle with balance, not because their legs are weak, but because, number one, reason of something happening deep inside the ear. That's right. Not hearing, but balance. Inside your inner ear, there's a tiny system called the vestibular system. It's like your body's internal compass. It quietly tracks your head movements, senses gravity, and sends signals to your brain to keep you upright and stable. But here's the catch. Just like eyesight and memory, this system can wear down with age. And when it does, even simple things like turning your head, looking up quickly, or rolling over in bed can make you feel dizzy or off balance. One of the most common culprits is something called benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, or BPPV. It sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. Imagine little crystals in your inner ear that are supposed to stay in place. Over time, they can get knocked loose and float into areas they shouldn't be. When that happens, your brain gets confused, thinking you're spinning, even when you're perfectly still. That's why you might feel a sudden rush of dizziness just from leaning forward to tie your shoes or turning your head too fast while watching TV. And no, you're not imagining it. According to the Vestibular Disorders Association, BPPV is the leading cause of vertigo in older adults. It doesn't show up on regular blood tests. It doesn't hurt, but it quietly messes with your balance. And if left untreated, it can make everyday movements feel unsafe. You might think, but I've never had this before. That's exactly why it catches people off guard. As we age, the structures inside our ear become more fragile. Even a minor bump, a sudden head movement, or just sleeping with your head in a strange position can cause those crystals to shift. And once they do, the feeling of spinning or floating can last anywhere from seconds to minutes, even if you're not moving at all. The good news: you're not stuck with it. There are simple head movements, done gently at home or with a trained therapist, that can reposition those crystals and bring things back to normal. They're called canalith repositioning maneuvers. In fact, for many seniors, these techniques bring relief in just 1 or 2 sessions. No medication, no surgery, just gentle guidance that restores your sense of balance. Now, why does this matter so much? Because if your vestibular system is off, your body starts to compensate in unhealthy ways. You might walk more stiffly, avoid turning quickly, or even avoid walking altogether out of fear of falling. Over time, that leads to muscle loss, anxiety, and social withdrawal. So by restoring balance in your inner ear, you're not just fixing dizziness, you're also rebuilding your freedom to move, live, and feel like yourself again. Coming up next, we'll explore another silent troublemaker, one that hides in your bloodstream and can make you feel lightheaded the moment you stand. It's not dehydration, and it's not fatigue. It's something your doctor might have mentioned once, but most people still overlook. Let's talk about what happens when your blood pressure takes a sudden dip and how to stop it before it sends. Number 2. Reason. You crashing down. Have you ever had that strange sensation the moment you stand up, like your head goes light, your vision dims for just a second, and your knees feel a bit unsure? You pause, wait for it to pass, and maybe even hold on to the wall just in case. It's not always dramatic, but it's enough to make you wonder, what's going on with me? This isn't just about aging bones or tired legs. It's something far more subtle that happens right inside your blood vessels, and it catches many people off guard after 60. You see, when you're lying down or sitting, your blood flows easily to your brain. But the moment you stand, gravity pulls your blood downward, into your legs, your belly, your feet. That's perfectly normal. In a younger body, the heart and blood vessels immediately react. They tighten up. The heart beats a little faster, and pressure is maintained so your brain doesn't miss a beat. But in an older body, that response isn't as quick. The blood vessels might not tighten as well. The heart might not pick up the pace right away. And in that brief window, just a few seconds, your brain gets less blood than it needs. That's when the fog hits, or the black spots, or that sudden feeling of, I need to sit down before I fall. This condition has a name: orthostatic hypertension. Ortho means upright. Hypertension means low blood pressure. Together, they describe a sudden drop in blood pressure when you go from lying or sitting to standing. And it's not rare. In fact, it affects a large number of people over 60, many of whom don't even realize it. The symptoms can be subtle at first. Maybe you feel fine most of the day, but notice a bit of wooziness after waking up. Or you go to the bathroom at night and feel slightly off balance. Over time, these moments might become more frequent or stronger. And what makes it so dangerous is how easily it can lead to a fall. One dizzy step, one shaky moment, and suddenly you're on the floor. There's also another layer to this. Certain medications, especially ones prescribed to manage high blood pressure, can lower your overall blood pressure so much that standing becomes a challenge. What was meant to protect your heart might now be confusing your circulation. It's a delicate balance, and one that often gets thrown off when multiple medications stack up, or when your body changes faster than your prescription does. And it's not just about medication. Other hidden triggers, like long periods of sitting, heat, or simply not having eaten in a while, can set the stage for a dip in pressure. The body's natural reflexes, which once adjusted in an instant, now lag behind just enough to cause trouble. Many seniors don't talk about these moments. They brush them off as just getting up too fast or a bad night's sleep. But if these episodes happen often, they're worth paying attention to, because behind that brief spell of lightheadedness might be a very real problem, one that has little to do with weakness, and everything to do with how your body is trying to keep up with changes in position. And if you've ever had that strange, hollow feeling in your chest when you stood too quickly, or caught yourself swaying at the sink, then you already know how disorienting it can be. In a moment, we'll explore something else, just as quiet, just as underestimated. Except this one doesn't come from your heart or your blood vessels. It comes from your nerves, specifically from something that might be missing in your daily diet, without you even realizing it. Let's take a closer look at what happens when your body runs low on two essential vitamins and how that can quietly steal your stability one step at a time. Now, let me ask you something. Have your legs ever felt like they just don't listen to your brain anymore? Like your feet are there? Number 3. Reason. But you can't quite feel them the way you used to. Maybe you found yourself shuffling a bit more than walking. Or sometimes, when you close your eyes to wash your face or shampoo your hair, you suddenly feel off balance. You might chalk it up to aging, maybe even arthritis or old injuries. But what if I told you there's another reason, one that's often missed, even by doctors? It all starts deep inside your nerves. As we age, our ability to absorb certain vitamins declines, and two of the most crucial ones for keeping our nerves sharp and our balance steady are vitamin B12 and vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. These two aren't just good to have, they're essential. They're like the wiring that keeps the communication between your brain, your spine, and your feet clear and fast. Without enough of them, that connection gets fuzzy. It's like trying to listen to the radio with static in the background. You might hear something, but it's not clear, and it doesn't come through fast enough. And for your body, that can mean delayed reaction, poor coordination, and a growing sense of imbalance. Vitamin B12 plays a key role in keeping your nerves healthy, especially the long ones that stretch all the way down to your feet. When levels get too low, the first signs often show up in your legs, not in your memory, not in your digestion, but in the way you move and walk. You might feel tingling, numbness, or a sense that your feet are padded, like walking on cotton. And slowly, over time, your ability to detect where your body is in space begins to slip away. That's when people start to sway, trip more easily, or feel like their legs just aren't doing what they're told. Then there's vitamin B1, thiamine. This one is especially sneaky. When it's low, it doesn't just affect balance. It can impact your energy, your reflexes, even your mood. In older adults, a deficiency in thiamine can lead to a kind of peripheral neuropathy, where the nerves in the legs and feet start to lose function. It often begins with subtle symptoms. Your legs might feel heavy or awkward, or you notice it takes more effort to climb the stairs. But left unchecked, it can grow into a real problem that makes walking feel unstable and even unsafe. And here's the most troubling part. You might not feel sick at all. No fever, no pain, just a quiet, creeping change in how steady you feel when you move. That's what makes these deficiencies so dangerous. They're silent. And unless someone connects the dots, they can go on for months or even years before they're spotted. Studies have shown that a significant percentage of seniors have undiagnosed B12 or B1 deficiencies, often because of changes in digestion that come naturally with age, or because of medications that interfere with absorption. And in many cases, the symptoms get mistaken for normal aging or blamed on unrelated conditions. But the truth is, when your nerves don't get the nutrients they need, it becomes harder and harder for your body to stay balanced, literally. So if you've ever wondered why your feet feel numb when you walk, or why you sway more when you close your eyes, or why climbing stairs suddenly takes more focus than it used to, this may be the missing piece of the puzzle. Now that we've looked inside your ears, your blood pressure, and your nerves, let's zoom out for a moment and talk about something even more familiar: your everyday habits. Because as it turns out, some of the small things we do every day without thinking might quietly be making everything worse. Habits that worsen dizziness. Sometimes it's not just what's happening inside your body, it's what you do every day without even noticing. Habits that seemed harmless in your 40s or 50s can quietly become troublemakers after 60. Think about those long hours sitting in one spot. Maybe you're watching TV, reading the newspaper, or chatting with a friend. Then you suddenly stand up, expecting your body to move with you, except it doesn't. For a second, your head swims and your legs hesitate. That quick change catches your system off guard, especially when your circulation has slowed from being still too long. And what about water? You might not feel thirsty like you used to. It's easy to forget that just because you're not sweating or active, your body still needs hydration. But when you're even slightly low on fluids, your blood pressure can dip more easily, especially when standing. That quiet dehydration can make the dizziness worse without you realizing it. Skipping meals can have the same effect. A missed breakfast might not feel like a big deal, but for older adults, it can send your blood sugar into a slump. That low energy, the shakiness, the faint feeling. It doesn't just come from being tired. Sometimes it's your body signaling that it's running low on fuel. And let's not forget the medications. Many seniors take blood pressure pills or heart medications. Taken the wrong way, or without a check-in from the doctor, they can push your pressure too low, especially when combined with a light meal or an empty stomach. Even being too still too often slowly chips away at the strength in your legs and the sharpness of your balance. The less you move, the less your body remembers how to adjust when you do. Each of these habits might seem small, but over time they quietly make your body more sensitive, more vulnerable to that light-headed feeling or sudden unsteadiness. Luckily, you're not stuck there, because in the next part, we'll look at small, practical changes you can make every day to feel stronger, steadier, and safer in your own body. If you've been feeling like your balance isn't simple daily habits to improve balance, quite what it used to be, or that dizzy spells are becoming part of your day, the first thing I want to say is, you're not alone, and you're not powerless either. Small, practical changes can make a real difference. Even if you've been dealing with these issues for months or even years, for many older adults, the answer starts with something as basic as hydration. Your body needs enough fluid to keep your blood pressure steady, especially in the morning. Just 1 or 2 glasses of plain water after waking up can help reduce that foggy, light-headed feeling you might get when standing. It's simple, but it works, because your circulation depends on volume, and volume depends on water. The way you move also matters more than you might think. If you've been sitting for a long time, whether it's reading, watching TV, or talking with a friend, take a moment before standing. Let your legs stretch, maybe shift your weight a bit in your seat, then rise slowly. This gives your blood pressure time to adjust and gives your balance a fighting chance. And if your steps have started to feel less steady, your body might be telling you it needs a little support. Not from equipment, but from movement. Easy exercises like standing on one leg near a counter, gently walking heel to toe in a straight line, or even just lifting your heels a few times each day can help train your muscles and nerves to respond better. These movements don't require a gym or fancy clothes, just a few minutes and your attention. What you eat also plays a role. Foods rich in B vitamins like eggs, fish, and beans support the nerves that help your legs feel the ground. And if food alone isn't enough, talking to your doctor about supplements may be the next step. Balance isn't about doing something dramatic. It's about noticing the little things, the water you drink, the way you stand, the strength in your legs. These are the tools that can help you feel more stable, more confident, and more in control of your own body. Again, if you've made it this far, I want you to senior health tips. Take a deep breath and remind yourself of something important. Feeling dizzy or unsteady doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're weak. And it certainly doesn't mean you have to accept it as a normal part of getting older. Because what we've uncovered today isn't just the cause of dizziness. It's a pathway back to confidence, back to walking across the room without hesitation, back to standing tall without gripping the furniture, back to trusting your own steps again. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. That's not how real change works. But if you start with one small thing, a glass of water in the morning, a few seconds of stillness before standing, a mindful moment to feel your feet, you've already taken the first step. Your body is wiser than you think. It's not giving up on you. It's simply asking you to slow down, to listen, and to support it in ways that truly matter. And if this video gave you even one helpful idea, one insight that made you say, "That sounds like me," then I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below and share your experience. You never know who else might be reading and feel a little less alone because of your story. And of course, if you found this helpful, don't forget to tap like and subscribe to Health 365. We've got more videos coming, gentle advice, real solutions, and stories that remind you you're still strong, still growing, and still in control of your health. One step at a time.